Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Airbus A380. The Airbus A380 is a double-deck, wide-body, four-engine jet airliner manufactured by European manufacturer Airbus. It is the world's largest passenger airliner, and the airports at which it operates have upgraded facilities to accommodate it. It was initially named Airbus A3XX and designed to challenge Boeing's monopoly in the large aircraft market. The A380 made its first flight on 27 April 2005 and entered commercial service on 25 October 2007. With Singapore Airlines, an improved version, the A380 Plus, is under development. The A380's upper deck extends along the entire length of the fuselage, with a width equivalent to a wide-body aircraft. This gives the A380-800's cabin of usable floor space 40% more than the next largest airliner, the Boeing 747-8, and provides seating for 525 people in a typical three-class configuration or up to 853 people in an all-economy class configuration. The A380-800 has a design range of serving the second and third longest non-stop scheduled flights in the world, and a cruising speed of Mach 0.85. Airbus had received 317 firm orders and delivered 213 aircraft. Emirates is the biggest A380 customer, with 142 ordered, of which 97 have been delivered. Background. Image size: width 280, height 330, plot area left 50, right 0, bottom 10, top 10, date format YYYY period from 1990 till 2020, time axis orientation, vertical scale, major unit, year increment 5, start 1990. Scale, minor unit, year increment 1, start 1990. Plot data, color yellow, mark align left, font size M, shift #shift text to right side of bar at 2016, shift 15 6 text 200th A380-800 delivered at 2014, shift 15 6 text 150th A380-800 delivered at 2013, shift 15 6 text 100th A380-800 delivered at 2011, shift 15 6 text 50th A380-800 delivered at 2007, shift 15 6 text first A380-800 delivered at 2006, shift 15 6 text certification and delays at 2005, shift 15 6 text maiden flight at 2004, shift 15 6 text first engine delivered at 2002, shift 15 6 text component manufacturing begins at 2001, shift 15 6 text Airbus consortium is merged at 2000, shift 15 6 text commercial launch of the A3XX at 1996, shift 15 6 text large aircraft division formed at 1993, shift 15 6 text Boeing cancels similar project at 1991, shift 15 6 text market demand. Researched in mid-1988, Airbus engineers led by Gene Roeder began work in secret on the development of an ultra-high-capacity airliner, both to complete its own range of products and to break the dominance that Boeing had enjoyed in this market segment since the early 1970s. With its 747 McDonnell Douglas unsuccessfully offered its smaller, double-deck MD-12 concept for sale. Roeder was given approval for further evaluations of the UHCA after a formal presentation to the President and CEO in June 1990. The mega-project was announced at the 1990 Farnborough Air Show, with the stated goal of 15% lower operating costs than the $747,400. Airbus organized 4 teams of designers, one from each of its partners, to propose new technologies for its future aircraft designs. The designs were presented in 1992, and the most competitive designs were used. In January 1993, Boeing and several companies in the Airbus consortium started a joint feasibility study of a very large commercial transport, aiming to form a partnership to share the limited market. This joint study was abandoned 2 years later, Boeing's interest having declined, because analysts thought that such a product was unlikely to cover the projected $15 billion development cost, despite the fact that only 2 airlines had expressed public interest in purchasing such a plane. Airbus was already pursuing its own large plane project. Analysts suggested that Boeing would instead pursue stretching its 747 design, and that air travel was already moving away from the hub-and-spoke system that consolidated traffic into large planes, and toward more non-stop routes that could be served by smaller planes. In June 1994, Airbus announced its plan to develop its own very large airliner, designated as A3XX. Airbus considered several designs, including an unusual side-by-side combination of 2 fuselages from its A340, the largest Airbus jet at the time. The A3XX was pitted against the VLCT study and Boeing's own new large aircraft successor to the 747. From 1997 to 2000, as the East Asian financial crisis darkened the market outlook, Airbus refined its design, targeting a 15–20% reduction in operating costs over the existing Boeing 747-400. The A3XX design converged on a double-decker layout that provided more passenger volume than a traditional single-deck design, in line with traditional hub-and-spoke theory as opposed to the point-to-point theory with the Boeing 777. After conducting an extensive market analysis with over 200 focus groups, although early marketing of the huge cross-section touted the possibility of duty-free shops, restaurant-like dining, gyms, casinos and beauty parlors on board, the realities of airline economics have kept such dreams grounded. On the 19th of December 2000, the Supervisory Board of newly restructured Airbus voted to launch an €8.8 billion program to build the A3XX, rechristened as the A380, with 50 firm orders from 6 launch customers. The A380 designation was a break from previous Airbus families, which had progressed sequentially from A300 to A340. It was chosen because the number 8 resembles the double-deck cross-section, and is a lucky number in some Asian countries where the aircraft was being marketed. The aircraft configuration was finalized in early 2001, and manufacturing of the first A380 wing box components started on the 23rd of January 2002. The development cost of the A380 had grown to €14 billion when the first aircraft was completed. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.